Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back on board the Pendragon with me, Conrad Larson. Now, it's been a while since I've done a Space Engineers video, and I feel it's time to remedy that. A very long time ago, I used to make a couple of videos showing you around some of my ships. Well, we're going to be getting back to that sort of thing. Today I'm going to show you a ship called the Humpback-Class Support Corvette. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Humpback-Class Support Corvette was designed by me with some help. I say some inspiration from a friend of mine who had this sort of design language for his ships, which you'll see here at the front end with this sort of sloping down front and these ridges. He called this design language the Ridgeback. So that's sort of where the name's had to come from, the Humpback. And if any of you have paid attention to the updates, when the planets released, the big update video had a sort of trailer for it. This ship actually appears in that trailer, or at least the Mark I version of this ship appears in that trailer at the very end. So this is that ship, and I'm going to be showing you around what this ship actually is and what it's got for it, and I'm really bad with camera controls. So, what is it designed for, first of all? Well, as you can see, it's a fairly small ship. In terms of large ships, it's quite small. Has no landing gear. It's an entirely spaceborne vessel. And the idea is this thing can support either a squadron of fighters, or a mining operation, or just something that requires small ships. So it has a hangar here in the center of the ship, in the belly, and it just has a couple of connectors. It has these UDCs, universal docking collars, that I've designed. All my ships tend to have them, all my stations, and it's just. It's a simple ship. So we're going to go into first person, and we'll be here on the port side, and we're going to go inside. So I tend to keep my airlocks fairly simple. There's no air in this spot. Now there's air. Boom. Simple. The reason I do that is when you're in here, this doesn't count as having any space in it. Therefore, when you close that door, there's just no air. But you don't lose. You don't tend to lose it, or I don't think you do. So you can keep your oxygen levels quite high without having to go through a whole depressurization cycle. It's a bit of a cheat, but it's also conserves a lot of space. So this is the Airlock Hallway, sort of your entrance. As you can see, we're on the starboard side actually. Has two air vents, just keep it pressurized. It's just a simple hallway. Now, if we come backwards first through this door, we come into the engineering bay. Unfortunately, lighting here is a bit crap. I might fix this somehow. In fact, I think... yeah, I could probably remove that and put a light under here. Might do that. Fairly simple ship. It has one nuclear reactor powering it. It has 2 jump drives. And it has 8 gyros. Underneath there, timer block projector for projecting its own ship for repairs. And there's a programming block to control this timer block. Those control the LCD monitors. Now if we come forward, we come into the hangar bay. This is the mezzanine sort of floor of the hangar, and you can sit down and look down. Really simple, small hangar, sort of mainly designed for small ships. As you can see, has a connector up in the top for connecting up, and that's why there is a hump on the back, and it's why it's called the Humpback class, is because of that. Just allow this go. As you can see, heavy armor just to try and sort of on these little bits, just to try and reinforce this section where ships tend to dock up. Bit of sort of space around the connector, of course, and then you've got the air vents for depressurizing the hangar. Now if we walk across the floor, which I don't generally like doing because you can't really walk up them very well, you've got a screen here showing you the pressurization of this room, and that is a script that keeps itself up to date. The beacons in the corners are for the server extender script mod, server extender sort of thing, plugin that allows you to dock ships where you need 4 beacons, and effectively what happens is if you put it in put a ship in the zone, chuck in some commands that looks a bit like dock, and then you name the ship zone, which is just, I think this is Humpback in this case, sort of thing. Doesn't work obviously here, and your ship actually docks. It's a way of getting around the fact that currently landing gear, connectors, all that, they're a bit buggy. So I have those just for posterity's sake. Now, I'm going to show you how you open this hangar. It's very simple. I have to turn this on so we can see you've got open hangar, closed hangar, emergency door control, and emergency vent control. Now we're just going to open the hangar. Warning lights come on. main lights go off. You see here, the room is depressurizing. No, of course, we're in creative, so it won't actually depressurize. It will just all flood out. And this keeps going. And the lights come back on once the room is fully depressurized and the doors are open. It's now safe to depart, move out. And another thing is that once this happens, these lights come on to indicate that the hangar is actually open and sort of thing, which usually you can see anyway because the lights are on. And then steer them again. If we can close this hangar up, doors immediately start to close. Vents are still depressurizing technically. I mean, in this turn, the lights go off immediately, just because. I've got the setup underneath these floor is 5 timer blocks that all control this entire sort of setup, and that's why it's not perfect, but it's pretty good, and it's one of my favourite features about this ship. Now, if we come forward, there's an airlock here, so that once the hangar is depressurized, you can still walk forward of the ship. The idea is that the airlock, once the hangar is open, generally the rear compartment of the ship is out of bounds. And you use the hangar to move in and out. Now, if we come here, this is the forward hallway. On the left, through this door, we have the medical room and cryo bays, just so you can store, you can heal up, you can sort yourself out, basically. It's just a medical bay. On the other side, the ship's cargo hold, which is a fairly small cargo hold, all in all, for a ship. It's 10, yeah, it is. It's 10 small cargo containers. And here on these monitors, again, kept up to date by the LCD script, is a full readout of everything stored in the ship. Which, as you can see, it does have a couple of things in, large tubes, motors, all of these. Which I find bloody useful. Love that script. If we come forward here, you've got this other screen giving you an oxygen readout, telling you how much ice is on board the ship and how full the tanks are. 2 tanks, and these generators. Now, the tanks don't actually do a very good job if you start venting air, and this is why it's so crucial to make sure you're paying attention to how your hangar is, because if you can mess it up very easily. Because, as I say, because it's limited by the number of timer blocks controlling it, if you hit open the hangar and the hangar's open, it will close the hangar, but it will pressurize in the wrong way. But more importantly, if you hit close hangar when the hangar is already closed, you will vent all your air because the doors will open immediately. So you have to pay attention to that, and you have to pay attention to this airlock, or you will lose all your air very quickly. Anyway, if we come forward of the... Here we go, up this little ramp, and we come into the cockpit. I say cockpit. I don't think the ship's big enough to have what I'd call a bridge. Now, I'm still not a big fan of this class, but it's alright. Fairly nice side-to-side view. Not much up and down, but, you know, it's not really designed for that sort of thing. It's not that sort of ship. But you have got nice views. You've got an antenna on your starboard side. Because I like a little bit of asymmetry. I like symmetrical ships, but some asymmetrical features, just to give them a little bit of flavour. Now, as you can see, the ship is entirely ion-powered. Haven't bothered to give it hydrogen. The design is old on that, and I can't be asked to retrofit it for hydrogen. For one, I can't fit the tanks in. It's too much effort. This is a small ship, it doesn't need them anyway. Now, if we put this on, as you can see, the ship does have full controls on 4 of its things. These different controls, I don't actually know greatly what these all do. Turns on and off the cockpit, shows the horizon on an altitude. Really, you shouldn't need that on, because if you can see the horizon and the altitude, you're probably screwed. You don't want to be going into gravity wells of this ship. It's not very good at it. It can turn its reactors on and off. It can turn its gyroscopes on and off. And then you have control over all thrusters. No, sorry, reverse thrust. That should be forward thrust. And all thrust. And then here we have controls for the 2 UDCs. Cameras. You've got camera control, merge block control. As you can see, they're normally off by default just to save problems, and you can control the locking on the connector. Same for the starboard side again. If we move to pot 3, turn on and off the antenna. Turn on and off, I think, broadcasting. Yep. and turn on and off showing the name. I tend to like using show name. Ore detector, which the ship does have, so it can support mining operations. As you can see, it's there behind the hangar. You turn that on and off, and you can get it to show through antennas or not. And then, of course, you have control for the jumping, which currently there is actually no coordinate set or anything. And finally, 4, open, close hangar, the 2 timer blocks to control that, and you can close all airlocks. That's simply all there is to the ship. Now, what I'm just going to give you a quick shot at is show you how quickly this thing accelerates to max speed. So, all in all, ready, set, go. Now, for some reason... I know why. Interestingly, that's odd that happened. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. As you can see, it's not bad. You know, we're already at half speed. Come up for 3/4. And we're now at max velocity, which I think is quite nice. I think it gets there fairly easily. And it looks pretty good. And then we'll let go. Now, logically, I say logically, yep, this should take half the time. It should take twice as long to slow down, simply because it has half the thrust in the opposite direction. Which, it's pretty good, I think. Generally, I think that's a good balance to have. I still haven't worked out the values for how long it takes, what distance it takes to accelerate to max speed, and what distance it takes to decelerate. Which is generally, I find, an important thing to know when you're coming to bases. Obviously, you want to know when you have to turn on your inertials. But we've already stopped, and we're all good. As you can see, it only used sort of half its power to do that, accelerating. Well, so as it goes, pretty good ship. I'm a big fan of this ship, really am. It's one of my favourite, just because of the size of it. It's got a good size about it. Now, one thing I am going to do is I am going to place a GPS, because I'm going to have to come back to this. And we're going to go have a look at something quickly that's all the way over here. And you might be wondering, well, what is it? Well, apparently I'm going past it, so there's that. Now what we have here, ignoring the random scaffolding of another ship I was working on. Now this is the Mark II, and this is the Avenger. Now this is a ship I found on the workshop. I saw it on the Keen forums. Now this is someone who has attempted. I just need to quickly turn the sun around. This is someone's attempt to recreate my ship solely from what they could see in the trailer, and I have to show you this because I am so damn impressed by it. Unfortunately, I can't remember the name. I will append that with a annotation here. But this is the KSH Fleet Avenger. Now, as you can see, it's a bloody good recreation. Now, one thing to note is the differences here with this striping and the design of the hump. This is my fault because this is an updated version, and therefore it has some. This is a new hump. This is what the hump originally looked like, so they bloody did a good job of recreating it. There is literally one thing I have noticed is slightly off about theirs to mine. As you can see, perfectly in line. But for some reason, their ship is longer than mine. And the reason for that is simply because if you see here, there's this gap of about 1 block. I don't have a gap. And that's all. That is the only thing, and they don't have any antennas because the antenna was not showing on the trailer. But seriously, they've done such a damn good job. Now, the paint job is slightly off on some things. For one, it's meant to be the dark grey behind, which you can't really see because I've put lighting in. But there's a darker grey on the inside, and the bottom of it is meant to be black. And that is pretty much the only things. Obviously, there's a slight amount of difference here, but it's very hard to see this part of the ship in the trailer. If you go back and watch the trailer, I will add a link to it in the description. This ship is only seen from a very side-on angle. In fact, if anything, it's more like this sort of angle anyway, and it passes by. Which is why I'm very impressed by they managed to get this little bit. Now, this is where they've put their hangar. If you go back and watch the trailer, you might notice there is actually a gap on my ship. Reason for that? The ship was extended to stall jump drive so it can make the jump at the end of the trailer. When I did that, I extended the ship, shoved them in, and fixed the armor. I didn't fix the armor on the bottom, therefore it had this big gap in it, which he's actually managed to recreate, which I'm very impressed by, and has used for his own hangar. His ship, as you can see, much more open interior than mine, which is not a bad thing. It's very nice, actually. There's a lot of space in here, it's shown me. He has his engineering back here. He has an interior antenna, which is very impressive. And then you can walk around through the front of this, come up here, and into the bridge. So his is a much smaller, much more bare bones layout, I think, than mine, of course. I tend to pride myself on my interior design, and I tend to go a bit ham on fitting every bloody thing I can fit into it. But I am impressed. I am very impressed by this, and it's one of the most humbling, I'd have to say, things. One of the most amazing things I've seen in my time in Space Engineers, which is someone trying to rebuild one of my ships. That's awesome. That is just unbelievable that someone saw my ship and went, I think I could make that. I liked that. I want to try that. So, yeah. But anyway, I'm trying to keep it short today. I say, as I've rambling on. Just wanted to show off this ship. Wanted to get back into doing a little bit of Space Engineers, just to putting those videos out for you guys. Get a bit more variety on the channel. So, thank you for joining me. Like if you like. Subscribe if you want to see more. Share if you want more to see. Please comment on the video. Say what you like about the format, what you like about the ship, what do you like about anything, what you don't like, what you want me to change, what you want to see in the future, this, that, the other. You know, I listen to you. You guys, obviously, I'm doing this for you, for an audience, for people to watch and to enjoy. So if there is anything you want me to do more of, or anything you want me to change, just let me know. Thank you very much, guys, and as ever, fair winds and following seas.